What's up, guys? So I'm going to go over this whole project that I've been doing with my LED conversion for the marker bulb and my running lights, and also converting to a clear housing, how to get around the issue with the 01 through 04 dual flasher module. That kind of creates a little bit of complication, but it's really nothing that hard. I made it much harder than it really needed to be honest. So let me go over everything with you guys. This isn't going to be a professional edited video or any of that bullshit. It's just going to be going over what I did briefly so you guys can kind of get an idea. So here we have what is going in. It's clear headlight housings, clear lower section of the housing as well, versus the OEM. You can obviously see that the OEM is a dyed amber housing on the bottom, and a lot of people would never realize it, but you have two flasher filaments in there. It's a T25 socket with a 3-wire. Those flash in there. You just always assume that all of them flash, honestly, but that's not true. The one on the end is only a 2-wire. It's got a ground and a constant 12 volt. It's a T10 socket with a 194 bulb. So you would never know, but once you go clear, then you're like, all right, cool, well, I'll just get switchback LEDs, right? Well, that's not really going to work either, because then only 2 of them switch back, and the other one is still lit up white, and it just looks fucking goofy as fuck. So I've gone ahead and found all the parts, found the smallest sockets, figured out the least invasive route to get into the housing and not chop shit to a million pieces, and probably even convert back to stock if you really wanted to. But let me show you what I did. This is pretty much just something that's temporary. It's not an end-all say-all. I don't really have access to a 3D printer to make the fittings that I want to make, but this is what I've found. The 7443 socket, which is this guy here, instead of a 3157 socket, this is the smallest 3-wire dual filament socket that you can get. There is nothing smaller than that. At least anything that'll fit a Morimoto bulb. For example, I'm using all Morimoto XVFs. It's the best thing that I could find on the market. It doesn't just have like a bare board with fucking LEDs on it. Looks like a Chinese fucking special. It just looks like shit. No one wants to put that in there. So that's what I got. I've got 3/4 heater hose. I poked very small holes in the socket itself, and then in just exterior plastic parts, nothing that protrudes into the housing. Custom made some hand springs. It works. It's air and water tight. It does also hold the bulb straight when I set it where I need it, and it works. It's not the prettiest thing, but you won't ever see it behind there. That's what it looks like from the front. I trimmed just a hair off the inner side there so I can clear it and get the bulb in. This was the original setup. You got these 2 bulbs and all that bullshit. So let me walk over. Garage is a fucking disaster. House flooded just not too long ago when I got back from vacay, so excuse the giant mess. But this is what it's going to look like behind the headlight. This is kind of a messier wiring job, not one of my cleanest wiring jobs, to be honest. I actually even forgot to put the extra heat shrink over these before I crimped it all, and I just don't have the time or patience to do it again, because these are already heat shrinks anyways, but whatever. So there's 2 mounting holes on my 02 Dakota right here. I just took a drill bit and opened this up so that I can get these to mount on center. Like I said, you're going to need just around 8 ohms. I took 2 7.5 ohm boxes for each corner of the vehicle. Took I think it was an M6 by 1 thread pattern that was 20 millimeters long with a nylock on the back. I always use nylocks for everything. These are all stainless. Came across. Here's what the harness looks like. You basically, I just use butt connectors and used my original harness for the most part, but this is going to be the ground wire for this bulb that goes back to the Morimoto. here is the this is the, I think this yellow and black wire, if I remember correctly, should be the low beam function of the bulb, and then this is the flasher that's going to go back to the other side of the box, and the green is the OEM harness. So I'll let you look at that. Come on, phone, focus. There we go. It looks like a jumbled up fucking mess, but basically it's just 3 wires, and you take the moto box, the Morimoto box, and throw your ground on the ground, and then the other side of the positive side of the Morimoto box and throw it on the flasher side. So that bulb is fine, it's reconnected, it's showing the resistance that it needs. This is what I did for the other side. You're going to repeat the same steps that you did over on that other side. With the Morimoto box tied into it, now you're going to come off this and borrow the flasher portion of this harness and send it over to your Morimoto bulb that you just retrofitted in, and then reuse the constant power and ground off this harness on the other side. It's pretty fucking simple. It took me a while to figure out because I didn't want anything to get hot and melt and just become an issue, but everything's all figured out and it's squared away. Let me show you the finished product over here. So that's what it looks like once it's done. You've got all the Morimoto bulbs in there, everything matches, all the light output is the same, and everything looks good. Let me see if I can rig something up here to get you guys some type of video. Bear with me here because I do not have anything to hold this up. I might blind you guys. Hold on. Get this somehow. That should work. Let's do that. Alright, a little bit of technical difficulty. I gotta find my car keys. I'll make a part 2.